Okay. Let me just quickly jump in before I
Go ahead.
pass on the the mic. First, I just want us, especially my brethren on the opposing side,
Yeah.
to get just one point, and it's the fact that corruption has been in this world since the days of the Bible. I remember there was a man whom the apostles did some miracles, and he came to them sheepishly and was like, how far can I, you understand, can I give you small cash so that you teach me how to do these things? And the Bible tells us that they did what? They rebuked him. That's an instance. It's obviously not the first instance, probably not the second, third, fourth, fifth, but that's an instance of corruption. And I feel we are beginning to paint. Yes, in Nigeria, we are declining. Like our speaker said, Pastor Solomon said, we are declining. We are in a decline. Like we are falling right now. But it's expedient we understand and realize that corrupt men and women are not only in Nigeria. There are corrupt people in the US. There are corrupt people in the Vatican. There are corrupt people in the church. There's no working organization, institution that is devoid of corrupt men and women. But what keeps that organization, or what renders that corrupt people incapacitated, is the system. The system. Okay, before I just pass on, let me quickly, I'll just give this point, then I'll answer the question. You asked me a question, I still remember, I wrote it down. Let me just drop this point, answer the question, then pass on. um the point I'll use this to portray something in this country. Maybe I might be biased because I'm a med student, but I strongly believe one of the most taught disciplines is medicine, is MBBS. And you will agree with me that the reason why these people, or this department, these people are able to produce very competent doctors who can go outside and go toe to toe with peers and colleagues outside, is because somehow, despite the mess of the academic system, we have been able to at least get it. I won't say right, but we have been able to get it, yes, at least better than others. So we have a system that checks you from the day you finish secondary school. They check you from jam, they check you from WAEC, they check you from post UTME, they check you, like there are series of checks. Then you get into 100 level, they check you in 100 level, they check you in 200 level now, as it is in our school. They check you in 200 level, they check you in 300 level, they check you in 400 level, they check you in 500 level, they check you in 600 level. So many checkpoints. So you realize by the time someone is finishing the race, is finishing that 600 level, he has little to no choice than to be competent. Like, he has little to no choice than to be competent. On the flip side, if you have a corrupt, let's say, provost or VC, who says, you know what, let me just put in my guys, let me put in my guys. If they are not competent enough, one of these checks is going to take them out. He or she can only protect them for so long. How many years will you stay there? Is it 5 years? The course is 6 years. So eventually he's going to go out, and that check, one check will take them out. But because we have a system of several checks, even a corrupt person, if a corrupt person sneaks an incompetent person into the system, that incompetent person has one of two choices: one, either become competent and catch up, or two, you get kicked out. So that's an example of a system, that we can see is working to an extent. And finally, before I pass on, to answer your question, you asked me a question about change from my opening statement, about shouldn't we change, something about shouldn't we change if, you understand, this is better. To answer that, I would like us to understand that, I'm going to be likening change to innovation. Before now, innovation, change was not a good thing actually. Before these are modern days. Like, I try a little bit to stay close to the corridors of technology, and everybody is singing innovation, innovate, disrupt, blah blah. But prior to now, it wasn't so. In fact, you hear people saying, I reject the charge of innovation, I do this, like I am not the innovator. In those days, people found it an insult to call them things like, okay, in the Britain, then they had words like chair buyer. Chair buyer just like chair buyer, like you bought the chair, meaning you are not from a noble family who inherited that chair. You are just maybe some rich merchant who just came in and paid his way into the system. Those are chair buyers, and that was like a derogatory term that people used to call others. These days, do you know the simile of chair buyers? It's self-made. And these days, you agree with me that everybody wants to be seen as self-made. Even people where we know say their father rich, their mother rich, they are claiming to be self-made. So I just want us to understand that the concept of change, of innovation, has actually experienced a change. Now, having understood that, let's also know that prior to now, in those times where this change were not, where innovation and change were seen as, not so good, a lot of persons came up with good reasons for that. And one of the reasons by one great soul philosopher is the fact that, should we really change something? If What is the purpose of change, first of all? And he said the purpose of change or innovation should be the attainment of a better state. Now, that definition means that we should not change something if what we are changing to is not better. So if we are going this way and this way is the faster way, we shouldn't, in the name of innovation, in the name of change, in the name of wanting to identify with something else, deviate from the right course because we want to innovate. So that's just my answer to that question, is the fact that yes, we should seek change, yes, we should seek innovation, but not for the sake of innovation itself or change itself, but for the sake of the attainment of something better. Thank you.